Oh my. Greetings, students. Here we are in the second week of class. Too bad, man. Many more to go. Today you will watch a short video about the research process and ethics in research. But I'm going to talk to you right now about an assignment that's worth a lot of points in this class. Number one, you're going to write a 30-question survey questionnaire. Number two, you're going to use that questionnaire to create a database. So you can write the questionnaire about any subject you like. And I would advise you to write it about something that you really love or you really hate, because you want to be passionate about the subject because you're going to be working with it all semester. You know, don't write anything that just comes out of nowhere or that's kind of dull. Lots of students apparently have annual passes to Disneyland, so they have written questionnaires about going to Disneyland because it makes them happy. Okay, so let's see. There are two files in this week's class: demographic questions and survey question types. They will help you write this questionnaire. So I'm going to open the demographic questions first, because you can use this file to create the questionnaire. Bing! You can see that there is a bolded paragraph at the top. You know, this type of information should appear in all questionnaires. Answers will be kept confidential. You don't have to answer any question that makes you feel uncomfortable. And most importantly, please carefully follow the instructions for each question, because people don't usually do that. So we want to help them out. So here's the deal. You can use this bolded statement at the beginning of your questionnaire. Okay? And you can also use all of these demographic questions. You could just take them and put them in your questionnaire. You might want to change them a little bit. Like, how about this one? Are you male or female? You might have more answer choices that you want to put in there. You can do that with this. You can do it with any of these questions. Okay? So if you're going to use this, and you're going to use all of these, then why not do this? After you open the demographic questions file, just go to File and go to Save As. And for God's sake, put this thing somewhere where you're going to be able to find it. Okay? Whether it's in, the cloud, or I don't know where. If you want to do it on Google Doc, then you could just copy and paste all this stuff over to Google Doc. That seems to be what students are using these days. I either have or I will show you how to create an H drive folder that will save everything safely for you. But wherever you're going to do it, save this. And what are you going to name it? Well, if I were you, I would name it Personal Questionnaire, and then your last name, right? My last name is Kilpatrick. And put it somewhere. I'm just going to put this thing on the desktop for now. But don't do that. You want to protect your stuff. Because then, once you've saved it, then you have the statement and you have all of the demographic questions. And you can see that I have started the first demographic question at number 24. So you really only have to come up with 23 questions of your own. So let's see if I can do this. If I can copy and paste that. Yeah, it's going to let me do it. So I can just make this number 1 and say, let's see. Do you Or how many times have you been in the ocean? And then I can start making answer choices. Never. Once. Less than 10 times. Every friggin' day. Of my life. And then I have to have these two things. I'll talk about these when I get to the other file, the DK and NA. Notice how when I have answer choices with more than one word that I'm using what's called title case. The first letter of every word has to be capitalized, except for articles and prepositions. Like than is kind of tricky. When is another one. But here's an easy one. What I usually tell students is, capitalize the first letter of every word except for itty bitty words, like of or is or the or da 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 da. Okay? And then you can just use this file that you've named personal questionnaire, whatever your last name is, and build your questionnaire, and then you'll have it. Okay? So let's see. What is your current age? You're giving somebody a line so they can write or type a number in. How many total years of education do you have? Boy, you really have to be demanding with this question because people just won't get it. Total years of education, they'll put, well, I have 2 because I've been in college for 2 years. What you want with this question is all years of education, all the way back to first grade. Are you, male or female? That can be what is your sex, what is your gender. Like I said before, you may have more answers than that. What is your ethnic group? You give a pretty good list of answers, and then you're giving them the option to select other and write or type something in there. Whoa. What was your personal income last year? And less than 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40, blah, 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 blah. Look what I'm doing here. The first answer is less than 20,000. And then the next answer starts at 20,000 and goes to less than 30,000. And all the other answers follow this diagram. 30 to less than 40, 40 to less than 60, 60K or more, right? The reason why you're doing this is because you don't want to have any overlapping answer choices, right? If you put just 20K, or no, 20K to 30K, and then put 30K to 40K, then if somebody made $30,000 without this less than sign, their answer could go into 2 different places. And that's a big no-no for questionnaires. Okay, what is your religious affiliation? Again, you're giving them a chance to select other and write or type something in there. Same thing with political ideology. Liberal, independent, conservative is not really an exhaustive list. What is your current work status? And pretty good list here. So I'm not giving them an other here. Full-time, part-time, student only, student and part-time, student and full-time. Okay. So once you have this set up, then you can just keep adding questions after your first one. And that brings us to the other file, which is survey question types. And, I don't want you to use these questions specifically, exactly these. I mean, you can if you want, but this is not a file to tell you exactly what type of questions to use. It's a file to give you different answer lists, to help you create something. And help you learn how to create different types of question designs, right? Yes, no is the easiest one. You saw in the instructions, the written instructions, that you can only have 4 questions in your survey that are yes, no. Because it's just too easy to make all of them yes, no. I want you to learn this stuff. Here's a list that goes from very satisfied to very dissatisfied. You need these kind of ranked lists. Same thing with, how often you go out with your friends, never, rarely, often, every night, for different types of analysis once you get to it. Here's another completely different question. On a 0 to 10 scale, with 10 being most satisfied, how would you rate HBO? And you're just giving them a space to write in whatever their number is. This can be all kinds of stuff. On a 0 to 10 scale, 10 being most satisfied, how would you rate the food in the student union? Which, of course, we can't eat anymore because we can't go to school. All kinds of different stuff. Next, how many drinks do you consume when you go out? None, which is me, because I did all my drinking, and I don't really drink anymore, very rarely. 1 to 2, 3 to 4, 5 to 6, or you're in total blackout drinking mode, which I used to get into, which is why I don't drink anymore. Notice again that I'm not overlapping these ranges. So there's no way that an answer can fit in 2 different places. Okay? Maybe people black out after 1 to 2, but this is just like a funny little thing. What factors attract you to the opposite sex, right? And here's a very important instruction. Select all that apply. That means that people can pick as many of these answers as they want to. And that means that you're going to have to set it up in SPSS a completely different way, okay, which I will show you how to do when we get into the SPSS part of this assignment, right? So looks, manners, dancing ability, financial status, you bet. Current boyfriend, girlfriend. You could probably throw in other. You could have 6 or other in here if you want. And the last question is, what type of electronic devices do you own? Cell phone, computer, laptop. That also is not an exhaustive list. I'm sure you could add more things to that and maybe throw an other at the end of that. Okay, notice how I'm putting DK and NA after every single answer list except one. DK stands for don't know. Because trust me, some people will read a question and they just don't know the answer. NA answers for no answer. Sometimes they'll just leave something blank. And you have to have codes for these things. So we can key them into SPSS. And the reason why I aside is because here, DK and NA are 8 and 9. Also here and here and here, but up here, the very first question, DK and NA are 3 and 4. And they shouldn't be, okay? DK always ends in 8. And NA always ends in 9. That's the convention code that researchers use. Okay, so look, this answer list only goes to 2, so we can use 8 and 9. This answer list only goes to 4, so we can use 8 and 9. Same thing here. But look at question number 4. Now for DK and NA, I'm using 98 and 99. And there's a reason for that. Because a 0 to 10 scale, think about it. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Guess what? 8 and 9 are valid answers for this. So you cannot use 8 and 9 for DK and NA. And when you have a question where the answer list goes through 8 and 9 or runs into double figures, then all you have to do is switch DK and NA to 98 and 99. It's easy. Okay? And I don't have DK and NA in this answer list. You know, the reason why that is because it's a select all that apply question. And I want you to, each of you, to put a couple of these select all that apply questions in your database. And it's easier for me to explain it when I show you how to put your questionnaire into SPSS. Okay, so I think that's it for the questionnaire video instruction, which I'll soon be able to sell for $1 million because it's so unbelievably cool. Right? Okay, well, thank you for listening, and more to come. Bye-bye.